The killing of Mohammad Pakpour. On the morning of February 28, 2026, Israeli forces struck 3 separate locations inside Iran where senior regime and military officials had gathered. One of those strikes killed Major General Mohammad Pakpour, commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The Israel Defense Forces announced Pakpour's death within hours. Iran's official state news agency IRNA confirmed it. Newsweek cited the agency, confirming both Pakpour and senior security advisor Ali Shamkhani were killed. Reuters, citing 3 sources familiar with the matter, separately confirmed that Pakpour and Defense Minister Aziz Nasserzadeh were killed in Israeli strikes. An Israeli military official told Al Arabiya that 3 locations where senior officials had gathered were struck simultaneously, and that several senior figures essential to the management of the campaign and the regime's governance were eliminated. Pakpour had held the position of IRGC Commander for 260 days. He was appointed to the role on June 13, 2025, after Israel killed his predecessor, Hossein Salami, in the opening minutes of the June 2025 12-day war, the first direct Israeli-Iranian war. Pakpour had been promoted to Major General by Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, specifically to enhance the capabilities, readiness, and internal cohesion of the IRGC in the aftermath of that conflict. 1 month before his death, he publicly warned Israel and the United States to avoid any miscalculation, stating the Islamic Republic stands more ready than ever with finger on the trigger. He was the 2nd consecutive IRGC commander killed by Israeli strikes in 9 months. Beyond Pakpour, confirmed deaths from the opening strikes include Defense Minister Aziz Nasserzadeh, Armed Forces Chief of Staff General Abdul Rahim, Mousavi, Supreme National Security Council Secretary Ali Shamkhani, Intelligence Chief Saleh Assadi, Military Bureau Head Mohammad Shirazi, and the heads of Iran's SPND nuclear weapons research body. Supreme Leader Khamenei was killed in the same operation. An Israeli official told Fox News that more than 40 senior Iranian security figures were killed in the opening strikes, one of the largest regime decapitation operations in modern warfare history. Operation Epic Fury. The strikes on Iran. The U.S. military designated the joint Operation Epic Fury. Israel named its component Operation Roaring Lion. U.S. President Donald Trump announced the strikes in an 8-minute video posted to Truth Social at approximately 2:30 a.m. Eastern Time on February 28th. He stated the United States had begun major combat operations in Iran with 4 stated objectives: preventing Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon, destroying its missile arsenal and production sites, degrading its proxy networks, and annihilating its navy. Trump also called on IRGC personnel to lay down arms, warning that refusal would mean certain death. The strikes began at approximately 9:45 a.m. Tehran time, a Saturday morning during Ramadan. The opening wave targeted leadership compounds, IRGC command centers, air defense systems, missile launch and production sites, naval assets, and nuclear infrastructure. The Israeli Air Force deployed approximately 200 fighter jets, striking around 500 targets across 24 of Iran's 31 provinces on day 1. U.S. Central Command executed nearly 900 strikes in the first 12 hours across Tehran, Isfahan, Qom, Karaj, Kermanshah, Tabriz, Shiraz, and Bushehr. Operation True promised war, Iran's multi-front retaliation. Within hours of the opening strikes, the IRGC announced it would launch the most intense offensive operation in the history of the armed forces of the Islamic Republic, and declared all American and Israeli assets legitimate targets. Iran designated the campaign Operation True Promise 4. The IRGC identified 4 primary targets: al-Udeid Air Base in Qatar, al-Salem Air Base in Kuwait, al-Dhafra Air Base in the UAE, and the U.S. 5th Fleet Headquarters in Bahrain. According to Critical Threats Project data from February 28th, Iran launched ballistic missiles and drones simultaneously at U.S. bases in Bahrain, the UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, and Jordan. Long War Journal, citing Bloomberg data through end of day March 1st, recorded the following volumes: UAE, 165 ballistic missiles and 541 drones. Kuwait, 97 ballistic missiles and 283 drones. Qatar, 65 ballistic missiles and 12 drones. Bahrain, 61 missiles and 34 drones. Jordan, 13 missiles and 36 drones. On February 28th alone, Iran fired an estimated 247 ballistic missiles and 230 drones at the UAE, Bahrain, and Qatar combined, plus additional strikes against Kuwait, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia. Iran also launched 162 ballistic missiles at Israel in the same period. Bahrain, U.S. 5th Fleet Headquarters. Bahrain's state news agency confirmed in an official statement that the U.S. Navy 5th Fleet Headquarters at Naval Support Activity Bahrain in Manama was struck by a missile. The services center affiliated with the Fifth Fleet was subjected to a missile attack. Video circulated online showing the impact on the headquarters building. Bahrain activated air raid sirens across the capital. Bahrain's Ministry of Defense reported intercepting 45 missiles and 9 drones on February 28th. Drone strikes also hit civilian targets in Manama, including the Crown Plaza Hotel and residential buildings in the Breaker Tower. The Aeroview's residential tower was struck by a drone. Bahrain International Airport sustained damage and closed its airspace on Sunday morning. 3 people were wounded in the Iranian strikes on Bahrain. Bahrain's ambassador to the United States called the attacks a blatant violation of sovereignty. Qatar, Al-Udeid Air Base. Al-Udeid Air Base, the largest U.S. military installation in the Middle East, hosting approximately 10,000 U.S. military personnel and serving as the forward headquarters of U.S. Air Force's Central Command, was among the confirmed targets on February 28th. Qatar's Ministry of Defense confirmed it had thwarted attacks in accordance with a pre-approved security plan and intercepted all missiles before they reached Qatari territory. Qatar reported 44 missiles and 8 drones were launched at the country on February 28th, with 16 people injured from missile interception shrapnel. Al Jazeera's correspondent in Doha reported hearing at least a dozen explosions, most sounding like Patriot air defense systems intercepting incoming projectiles. Hamad International Airport experienced disruptions following airspace closure. Qatar Airways suspended all flights from Doha. Canadian soldiers of the Combined Aerospace Operations Center were confirmed present at Al Udeid at the time of the attacks, with no casualties reported. On March 2nd, Qatari F-15s shot down 2 Iranian Su-24 aircraft approaching Qatari airspace at an altitude of 24 meters, reportedly attempting to fly below radar. It was the first air-to-air kill in Qatari Air Force history. Qatar Energy declared force majeure and halted LNG production at Ras Laffan on March 2. Kuwait, al-Salem Air Base. al-Salem Air Base, which hosts U.S. and Italian military personnel, was confirmed struck in the initial wave. Kuwait's defense ministry acknowledged the base came under attack by a number of ballistic missiles, all of which were intercepted by Kuwaiti air defense systems. A drone separately targeted Kuwait International Airport, causing minor injuries to workers and material damage to the passenger terminal. Kuwait's foreign ministry summoned Iran's ambassador and maintained the right to self-defense. The most consequential attack in Kuwait came at Shuaiba Port, where an Iranian drone struck a makeshift U.S. operations center. U.S. Central Command confirmed on March 2nd that 6 American service members were killed in action, with the remains of 2 additional personnel recovered from a facility struck during Iran's initial attacks in Kuwait. 18 service members were reported seriously wounded. These were the first confirmed U.S. combat deaths of the conflict. The Long War Journal reported the killed were members of a sustainment unit. The U.S. Embassy in Kuwait was subsequently hit by an Iranian missile, prompting Secretary of State Marco Rubio to close it until further notice. On March 2nd, a Kuwaiti F-A-18 mistakenly shot down 3 U.S. F-15E fighters in a friendly fire incident. All 6 crew members survived. Kuwait's total incoming projectile count through March 1st reached 97 ballistic missiles and 283 drones. UAE, Al Dhafra Air Base, and civilian infrastructure. Iran directed the single largest volume of fire at the United Arab Emirates. On February 28th alone, Iran fired an estimated 137 ballistic missiles and 209 drones at UAE targets. IRGC-affiliated Tasnim news agency identified Al Dhafra Air Base, which hosts U.S. personnel and advanced aircraft including F-35s, as a primary target. Al Minhad Air Base, operated jointly by the UAE Air Force and the Royal Air Force and housing Australia's Defence Force Headquarters Middle East, was also attacked. In civilian areas, a Shahed-type drone struck near the Fairmont, the Palm Hotel on Palm Jumeirah in Dubai, causing a large explosion and fire injuring 4 people. Dubai International Airport, the world's busiest international airport by passenger volume, was struck, forcing an evacuation and injuring 4 staff. Terminal 3 footage appeared online at approximately 1:30 a.m. local time. Fragments from interceptions damaged the Burj Al Arab Hotel, Jebel Ali Port. Caught fire, attributed by Dubai authorities to debris from aerial interceptions. A residential area near Zayed International Airport in Abu Dhabi was hit by missile debris, killing 1 Pakistani national and injuring 7 others. In Sharjah, a residential building, a mall, and an industrial area were struck on. March 1st, with 3 fatalities and 58 injuries reported. UAE Defense Ministry totals as of March 3rd, 174 ballistic missiles intercepted or fallen, 2 cruise missiles intercepted, 689 drones launched, with 645 intercepted and 44 causing impacts. 3 civilians killed in UAE total: Pakistani, Nepali, and Bangladeshi nationals, and 78 injured through March 5th. The UAE closed its embassy in Tehran and withdrew all diplomatic staff. Time magazine confirmed the CENTCOM list of Iranian strikes, which included Dubai International Airport, Kuwait International Airport, Zayed International Airport, Erbil International Airport, the Fairmont Palm Hotel, the Burj Al Arab, the Crown Plaza Bahrain, the Port of Dubai, residential areas in Beit Shemesh and Tel Aviv in Israel, Era Views Tower in Bahrain, and residential areas in Qatar. Jordan, Saudi Arabia, additional targets. Jordan intercepted 2 ballistic missiles targeting Muwafaq al-Salem Air Base. Saudi Arabia intercepted Iranian strikes on Riyadh and the eastern province on February 28th. On March 2nd, 2 Iranian drones targeted Aramco's Ras Tanura refinery. Both were intercepted, but debris caused fires and halted operations. Saudi Arabia pledged to take all necessary measures to defend its security. Oman, which had been mediating U.S.-Iran nuclear talks, was not struck initially, but later had 2 drones hit Duquym port. Yemen's Houthi movement resumed Red Sea attacks on U.S. and Israeli-flagged ships, declaring solidarity with Iran. Confirmed casualties and operational status: U.S. service members killed, 6 confirmed as of March 2nd, CENTCOM. Location: Shuaiba Port, Kuwait. Cause: Iranian drone strike on a makeshift operations center. U.S. service members seriously wounded. 18 Iranian civilian deaths inside Iran confirmed by Iranian state media. Minimum 201 as of March 1st. Civilian deaths in Gulf states, at least 3 in UAE. Pakistani, Nepali, and Bangladeshi nationals. Civilian injuries across UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, over 100 combined. Civilian deaths in Israel from Iranian missile strikes, 2 confirmed. CENTCOM maintained throughout that Iran's retaliation had not meaningfully damaged U.S. installations used for offensive operations, and that U.S. forces had successfully defended against hundreds of incoming projectiles. Pre-delegated authority. Defense Security Monitor reported that Iran's simultaneous multi-front retaliation across 5 countries occurred even amid severe command and control problems, a direct result of the elimination of its top command structure in the same opening strikes. This demonstrated decentralized pre-authorization. Retaliatory packages did not require confirmation from a surviving chain. The IRGC pre-announced its 4 targets and executed against all of them within hours of its leadership being killed. Head of Iran's National Security Council, Ali Larihani, stated, "We had told the United States through the Swiss embassy that if you attack this time, we will hit your bases." The retaliation confirmed the warning.